It is 6 o'clock on the dot. Good morning and welcome to the Kusile Breakfast Show. Thank you so much for joining us again today. It is a Thursday, the 9th of February 2023. Good morning and welcome. You can also watch us on YouTube as well as on your phone if you have the Eswatini TV app. And Vuselago, ngulungelele makakula sabonja kokulukuti umdalo speppisile sabona lilanga lana muhla sifiso. Kusile.
Yeah, good morning, Lungalele. How are you?
Good.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I think for me, what I've realized, ukuthi le weather asikhathi lipholile. Ngishakuseni kubalula lokuvuka. Kanti lamanye amalanga man isuke lishisiyele lilanga uthi na uvuka uvele ukuthi hayi man. Ngishisile lo mtimba. Yeah. So I wake up in good spirits. I'm very motivated to go on with the day, and hopefully we'll have a good program as usual.
Yes, all right. Thanks so much for joining us today. Mbukile namhlanje sidaba sikhulumisana nalabasuka eMandini Boreholes. This is a new company. Ma services abo nje kuza manje kuletha lusito esiveni kanye nasemimangweni lehlukahlukile with their affordable borehole drilling services. Sidaba sikhulumisana nabo lomhla ekseni nga 7:30 kuva kabanti nje their recent work nekukuthi ngabe sebaside bantu ulabanganani. We'll talk about advantages and disadvantages of having a borehole ukuthi lapha eveni not only Eswatini tingate mandi tinengi kakhulu, so they try and bring access to water especially etindaweni ezisemakhaya lapho khona kude emanti lahlandekile. So sibe sikhulumisana nabo kuva kabanti namuhla ukuthi ba charge amalini ukuthi bakugubhele iboreholes. Siyibona imisebenzi yabo bayipostile ku social media especially on Facebook. So namhla ke sidaba sinabo on in the studio kukhuluma kabanti ngemisebenzi labayendako at 7:30.
The 8th edition of the International Day of Women and Girls ikhona kulempela sonto lesiya kuyo ketfolakala ke lokho ukuthi women experts, youth and professionals always engage in dialogue and discussions to put science, technology and innovation at the heart of sustainable development programs. Bakwenda lokho ke ku address akutamanje ku address the significant gender gap that has persisted throughout the years at all levels of science, technology, engineering and mathematics, pretty much onke nje STEM disciplines all over the world. The going notion is that even though women have made tremendous progress towards increasing the participation in higher education, they are still underrepresented in these fields. Now the United Nations cites this reality as a huge concern, mainly because gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls will make a crucial contribution not only to economic development of the world but to kuthuthukisa nje emagoli amhlaba la khonsako ne 2030 agenda ya sustainable development as well. How wide is the underrepresentation of women and girls in science? How much does it affect the economic development of the world? We will be joined in studio at 7:30 by Nelsiwe Ndwandwe, who is the Science Programs Officer at the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. Lutabeke ahamba naye Lwandle Simelane, who is the Senior Officer in the Department of Science, Research and Innovation under the Ministry of ICT. Basijoyina ke nga 7:30 lomuhla to further those discussions kuleyo topic leyo.
Yes, Kanjala Mbukeli, stay with us. It's 3 minutes after 6. Let's take a break. Stop when it is about date from.
Pay your TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo. Simply dial *007 *3# and select option 8 for TV license. Enter your national ID number as your reference and the amount you wish to pay. Then enter your PIN to confirm your payment. Once your payment has been made, you'll receive a confirmation SMS of your payment. If you're a first-time payer, you get another SMS for your TV license. So legalize your entertainment from the comfort of your home. Pay your TV license the easy and convenient way with MTN Momo.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome back. Siyakuvusela nawe lo sanza kuzivulela sidaba kade indzaba tethu lomuhla. Indvenayete emabhizinisi netekuthengiselana amanxeba khumalo ithi kunemafema lamathathu lakhiwako latawucasha cishe bantfu labangu 3000. Khumalo uthi lamafema atawuba semandambe, enzevane kanye nasegamula. Indvenayete lokuhle ngalamafema atawakhelwa etinkhundleni lokutawuba kumikisa imisebenti kubantfu. Indvuna icale ngekuchaza kabanti ngemsebenti wasemandambe lapho kusamelwe khona imivo yesive.
Sesiqalile sisebenta umsebenzi wasemandambe lapho nakhona sifuna kusukumisa ifactory letawucasha abantu labatawuba ngu-1000. Sibhekeke ukuthi kule factory lena uhulumende utawufaka imali lenganga 60 to 70 million emalangeni kulokwakhiwa kwale factory, bese investor naye investe imali lecishe ifike khona lapho kubo 50 to 60 million emalangeni. Lokusho ukuthi ke sekonke kutaba in the region of about 120 to 140 million emalangeni. Siphinzeke sisukumisa umsebenzi lonjalo enzevane. Nakhona masinyane kutabe kusuka lithuli ngoba nakhona sesiyentile lemniningwane yakhona sendaba environment impact assessment, indzawo sebasinika emphakathini, investor sesimtfolile nakhona sitabe sisukumisa effect lengako. Kusho nje lama factory atawuba mathathu alingane futhi acishe afanane nangecasha abantu. Kutaba ngile segamula yona ke sevele seyaphela ngakutawuthi nje makuphela April itabe vele seyicala kucasha abantu khona kule ndzawo yasegamula, bese ke kucala leyasenzevane yona sicabanga ukuthi kuyawuthi ngaMay masiphutile June ibe iqala isebenta, bese ke le yasemantambe yona sibuke ukuthi ngabo July nayo itabe iqala yakhiwa.
Indvuna ilitekuchumana inkosatana sikhanyiso ethi umbiko lobuke etikhebese kutekuchumana i-Digital Economy Diagnostic Report lowetfulwe itiko ngekwesekelwa libhange lemhlaba i-World Bank kanye netinhlangothi letitsinsekako utawusita ukuthi live likhone kumelana netimo tetehlakalo letahlukene uphindze uthuthukise tekuchumana kulokunye. Indvuna lebekadze emilelwe lisekela lamabhalane lomkhulu kulelitiko Macanjana Mosa ikuvete lokhu ngesikhathi yetfula lombiko.
Inkosatana ithi kuthuthukisa tekuchumana kuyasita kwekuthi kukhule umnotho welive emabhizinisi kanti kuphindze kwente kube melula kusebenzisana nekuchumana nalamanye emave. Indvuna ithi kungako litiko lente lombiko ukuthi libone kwekuthi leSwatini lingathuthukiswa kanjani kulolihlangothi.
Kule poti icwethe lokunenge bonkosi ibuka ukuthi yini yetikhebese lesinato singemaswati endzabeni yetekuchumana. Utawukhumbula nje kunendzaba yetibhedlela ka-health, kunendzaba ka-education, kunendzaba ka-agriculture. So le poti ibekeke ukuthi yini lelikhebese lesinato singemaswati iphize futhi ibuka ukuthi yini imvo lesingayenda ama-recommendations kuleyo lowo hlangothi lelo. Silive bonkosi sibuka ukuthi asakhe phela asiyakhe indzaba yemnotfo sisebenzisa kwetekuchumana. Lokukhulukati sibuka ukuthi infrastructure yethu takhiwo tetfu vele igugile kakhulu bane sikufanele ukuthi ngathi ngesingisi siti improve sitakhe tibe sezingeni lelisetulu. Ngidawuchubeka ngisho ukuthi kunemithetho leyentiwe nje kulomnyaka ophelile lefaka ekhatsi Data Protection Act. I-Data Protection ibuka kuvikeleka kwe-information yemuntu.
Indvuna ithi tekuchumana setisidzingo kuwo onke emave emhlaba ngako neleSwatini nalo kufanele libe sezingeni lawo umhlaba. Etindzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Nelsiwendla ngamandla titfombe ngumuzi Mkhonda eMbabane.
Libele Melika selinekelele uhulumende welive leSwatini ngeligumbi lesithatfu lelwati lolubitwa ngekuthi i-American Corner. Leli gumbi leli lisemtapeni welwati kaManzini kanti livule ngalokusemthethweni ngalesibili Nthambama. Leli gumbi lethulwe ngulonxuse lelive lemamelika lapha eVeni Earl Miller emcimbini lebongenelwe ngumabhalane lomkhulu etiko letekwati kuchumana nebuciko phesheya Dube.
Udlelwane belive leSwatini nelemelika buyachubeka nekutsela titselo letinhle letivunwa ngemaswati lamanyenti. Lonxuse lelive lemamelika lapha eSwatini Earl Miller uthi Lamagumbi lakhuluma ngelive labo, American Corner, sekabe khona iminyaka lelishumi lapha Eswatini kanti sekuye bantfu labengetulu kwa 112,000 kiwo.
In partnership with U.S. program alumni, we are offering robotic sessions. I mean, how cool is that, right? Robotic sessions through the Technovation Hub every Saturday until July. The sessions are available to 48 high school students who were selected on a competitive basis. So I need to come by and see some of that. That was really, really fun. And then the top cohort of these students will go on to represent Eswatini in the first Global Challenge in October 2023.
Mapalane lomkhulu etiko letekwatisa tekuchumana nebuciko phesheya Dube uthi eMaswati azuze kakhulu kulobudlelwane lobukhona kulamave lamabili lokufaka ekhatsi kutemfundvo.
Now, without a shadow of a doubt, with the opening of the Manzini American Corner, the country will continue to thrive in ensuring that the Maswati have access to information, enabling them to make informed decisions that can improve their lives.
Leli gumbi lemamelika likhona emtapeni welwati enhlangano kanye nasembabane. Tindzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Themkosi Mavimbela nginaThemba Shabangu kaManzini.
Inhlangano yakamhlaba lebuketa indzaba tebantfwana i-UNICEF seyesekele ehhovisi leliphini ndvunankhulu ngemali lengetulu kwa 10 million emalangeni letawusita kucinisa tinhlelo tekutfutfukisa bantfu labakhubatekile kuleli iminyaka lemibili. Lisekela lamabhalane lomkhulu kuleli tiko lomakhosi Dlamini litsi lenye yale mali itawusita kusungula libandla lelitawubuka tindzaba tebantfu labakhubatekile i-Disability Council.
Le support lesiyitholako ke lena from i-UNICEF ukuthi sikhone kufundzisa kabanti key people labatawukhona ukuthi kuplana neku-implementa ama-policies sizame lokufaka sigcizelele emalungelo ebantfu labaphila nekukhubateka.
Lobuketa indzaba tebamfana ka-UNICEF Natalie Dairis uthi besekelela ive leSwatini kuloluhlangothi ngemuva kwekuthi babone isikhebesi lesikhona ngendlela letisetshentwa ngayo tindzaba tebantfu labakhubatekile.
In the UN we feel that we should leave no one behind, but when we are working with the most vulnerable population, we also often see that those that are living with disability are often left behind.
Umbiko welubalo wemnyaka wanga 2017 uveta kwekuthi bantfu labakhubatekile kuleli bang 146,554 kanti 15.1% wabo sivele setindzaweni letisemakhaya, 8% walesive sihlala emadolobheni. Etindzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Nelisiwe Ndlangamandla namuzi Mkhonda eMbabane.
Sekucalile kubhaliswa kwabafundzi labatawubhala luhlolo lwangephandle lonyaka. Lokhu kuvakale ngelibandla lelibukela uhlolo lwangephandle Examinations Council of Eswatini. Leli bandla lithi tikolwati ivumele bonke bantfwana babhalise lokufaka ekhatsi bantfwana bendlunkulu.
Njengoba tikolwa setivuliwe, libandla lelibukela uhlolo lwangephandle selivele livulile ukuthi bafundzi bangabhalisela luhlolo lwangephandle. Lokhu kuvele ngembiko lokhishwe ngumchumanisi waleli bandla ahlengiwe Ndlovu ngaleSitsatfu. Lolu hlolo lolu lwaka grade 7, form 3, form 5 kanye na form 6. Ndlovu uthi kubhalisa kulabo labasetikolweni kugcina mhla ka-3 enyangeni yeNdlovu lenkulu kanti kulabo labatawube babhala bangekho ngaphansi kwetikolwa ema-private candidates kutawugcina mhla ka-5 enyangeni yaMabasa. Ndlovu uthi leli bandla likhutsata tikolwa ukuthi tibhalise bonke bafundzi lokufaka ekhatsi bantfwana bendlunkulu. Kanti-ke indzaba ayipheleli ekubhaliseni kuphela njengobe kufuna kubese kuyabhadalwa kuye ngekuthi umfundzi ukuliphi libanga nekuthi ubhala tingaki tifundvo. Leli bandla likhutsata tikolwa ukuthi tibhalise nalabo labangakabhadali. Leli bandla licele tikolwa nekuthi ticinisekise ukuthi imininingwane yebafundzi letfakilo iyafanana yini ncamashi naleyo lesemabhukwini elihhovisi leliphini landvunankulu. Indzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Themkosi Mavimbela nginavuma Inkosi Nzinisa ezulwini.
Joseph Fondololo Mabuza sawuthole ibheyili yemali lengu-50,000 emalangeni enkantolo lenkhulu. Mabuza liphoyisa leselathatha umhlalaphansi leliboshelwe tinsolo tekubulala bantfu labane nekuthumba. Mabuza uboshwe nalabanye labasikhombisa.
Joseph Fondolo Mabuza wasemathanjeni sekuye enkantolo lenkulu wacela kutokela ngephandle. Kulesicelo sakhe utshele inkantolo ukuthi akawendanga lamacala labekwe wona. Mabuza ubhekene nemacala lamane lafaka ekhatsi lamabili ekubulala nalamabili ekuthumba. Lomsolwa usolakala ukuthi watfumba Fanele Shabangu kanye naBonkosi Sidudla Shiba wabafaka emotweni waya nabo enkundleni yetemidlalo emathanjeni. Mabuza usolakala nekuthi wabese uyababulala boShabangu naShiba. Lomsolwa ubhekene nalamacala kanye nalabanye labasikhombisa. Lababulawa kuthiwa bafela tinsolo tekuntshontshela sive sasemathanjeni. Mabuza uneminyaka lengu-64 kanzi laba laboshwe nabo baneminyaka lengu-21 kuya ku-38. Inkantolo imnikete ibheyili ya 50,000 emalangeni yathi akabhadale 3,000 emalangeni bese uletha sibambiso lesingalingana imali lengu-47,000 emalangeni. Mabuza bekamelelwe nguLeo Dlamini kanzi lendzaba beyisembi kwelijaji Dicheme Dlamini. Tindzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Themnkosi Mavimbela enkantolo lenkulu.
Inhlangano yabahlabeleli betenkolo sebandlulise ukudumala ngekhamba emhlabeni kwaMayibongwe Mthimkhulu ebeka ngumhlabeleli lobeke intakahle kakhulu ekucopheni tingoma lebetidumisa uNkulunkulu futhi nesive sititfokotela lokuvetwe nguNhlanhla Mathunjwa lochumanisa sive nalenhlangano. Linsatseli ngaphambi kokuyokhulumisa lenhlangano tikhulumisene nemndeni wakaMthimkhulu lovumile ukuthi Mayibongwe akasekho emhlabeni kepha lo mndeni usetawuhlangana ngalendzaba.
Kusetfusile kakhulu sibonile imbiko kude tekuchumana saphindze sahlola sase siyathola ukuthi sekuvele kunjalo. Sithathe lithuba silile sithandaze ukuthi uNkulunkulu ayiside nemndeni kulesimo lesibhekene naso. Mhlambe singasho ukuthi Mayibongwe siyamati usevile under i-association alunga to an extent ukuthi at one point in time uke waba li-chairman we-region yakaHoho yema-artists la sebente kahle kakhulu. Utheke noma sekahamba sekayo kwaKhalikhaya Kalikhele wangagcini lapho wachubeka wayisupporta i-gospel music bakanye naye Bishop basisekele kakhulu sithi asikubonge kuloko. Mayibongwe ke ube ngumuntu lodlalile ichaza kakhulu maningi ama-awards lawa winile. Simbonile awina bo Song of the Year, sambona awina nema-national awards kiwo emanakha kanye nawo ema-gospel music awards. So kubhlungu kakhulu lele kusivelele kuma-artists.
Litiko lemisebenzi lemikhulu nekutfutsa lithi selivele liyayisebenta indzaba yemanti lema kumalakwane ashayelise kabi bashayeli. Lamanti lawa vama kuma ngaseBhahayi nasojika kungathi ubuyela eMbabane.
Hamba kumalakwane uma lina litulu kumatima njengobe kunemanti lavundla umgwaco langabanga netingoti uma kungaba netimoto letihamba ngelitubane lelisetulu kakhulu. Lamanti yageleta aze afike ngenhla kwesikolo lesibitwa ngekuthi yiBhahayi. Lamanti athi angefika lapho ahambe eme ekhatsi nemgwaco nasewuthi ujika ufuna kubuyela eMbabane. Ndiyaphindze endesa kuphuma kancane kancane abheke endasi nemgwaco ahlangabete letikhuphukako tibheke khona edolobheni eMbabane. Mabhalane lomkhulu yetiko letemisebenzi lemikhulu nekutfutsa Thulani Mkhaliphi uthi litiko selibonile noma ke seliyibonile lenkinga. Mkhaliphi lesikhulumisene naye ngelucingo uthi sebavele bakhulumisene nasogontraki ukuthi ayisebente lenkinga kutse madvutane. Ndzabeni teSwatini TV kubika Themnkosi Mavimbela kumalakwane.
Inhloso yekwenyusa linani lebantfu labasha labenta emabhizinisi nasebacedze emakolishi, inhlangano lefundzisa abafundzi ngetimali nemabhizinisi seyisayine isivumelwano sekusebenzisana nenkampani yaka-ENIDC. Nekusho kwemphatsi wenhlangano yaka-Junior Achievement Phethile Masilela, lezivumelwano sitawusita kutsi le nhlangano ifinyelele kubantfu labasha labanyenti labatawukhona kwakha ematfuba emsebenti.
Inhlangano lebuke kusitakala kwabosomabhizinisi labancane ekuthenini batfole timali tekusungula emabhizinisi ye-Eswatini National Industrial Development Corporation kanye-ke nenhlangano i-Junior Achievement setisayine isivumelwano sekusebenzisana ekusiteni bantfu labasha ukuthi basungule emabhizinisi. Umphathi wenhlangano i-Junior Achievement Phethile Masilela uthi-ke bantfu labasha bakuleli banemicondvo lekhaliphile ledzinga kutfutfukiswa.
Le MOU lesiyisayina namuhla itasakhela ibasis lenkulu ekuthenini sikhona reach out to bantu labasha labadzinga lusito lwethu. Liciniso lithi banengi bantu labasha labacedzile ema-universities, ema-colleges, labacalile emabhizinisi badzinga nje i-seed capital. Le funding letawuchamuka lana leyo supporta labantu labasha in a form of ema-loans or imali yekubaboleka itawubalekelela ukuthi bakhone kukhulisa lama-ideas lamahle labawacalile.
Umphathi wenhlangano i-ENIDC Muzika Isedube uthi le nhlangano yifise kubona emabhizinisi ebantfu labasha akhonsa.
Our objective is to see them come to a point where they can receive any amount that they can see. We have an interest in all sectors in the market, and we are happy to also receive new sectors that don't exist in the market.
Inhlangano yaka-Junior Achievement itfola-ke emasu noma ema-business plan ebantfu labasha labasetikolweni letiphansi ema-primary school langu-50 ngeminyaka. Etindzabeni kubika Sondomlangeni nginaThemba Shabangu eMbabane.
Litiko letemphilo ngekusitwa tinhlangano letetimele lisemkhankasweni wekucecesha tisebenti temphilo letiniketa lusito elihlangotsini lokuhlela umndeni. Nekusho kwalobuke elihlangothi lwetekuhlela umndeni kulelitiko umgcineni indlangamandla letisebenti temphilo tiniketwa likhono lelibhekekile kusita emaswati ukuthi ahlele ngekusebentisa tindlela letahlukene.
Litiko letemphilo ngekusebenzisana nenhlangano yaka-Elizabeth Glaser naletinye tinhlangothi liphuma umkhankaso wekucecesha tisebenti temphilo telihlangothi lokuhlela umndeni. Lobukelo luhlangothi etiko letemphilo mgcineni ndlangamandla uthi-ke letisebenti ticeceshwa ngemakhono ladzingekile ekusiteni sive.
Umsebenzi wabo kusisita kusifundzisela le ekufacility level. So sisebentise bona-ke ukuthi asinikete bona lo lwati sibatraine batoba ngema-trainers nabo bakhone ukuthi nabafika le facility babese sebayatraina-ke batraina labo nesi bakhulise le nombolo lengakhona lokho ukuthi umfuna kafikile adzinga lusito bamsite ikakhulu kati ngoba indlela letinye indlela tilula kunika umntu uliphilisi uyadinathela liphilisi kunika umntu umjovo bakujwayele kujova bonesi kepha nase kufika letinye indlela letifaka ekhathi ukufakwa kwabo implant nekufakwa kwabo loop nalokuyikhipha le implant nekuyikhipha le loop ngiko lo lesikhanze ukuthi bantfu labanengi bete le skill kangako kani ngetulu kwaloko lokuphinze kube inkinga na ukukhuluma ngalo yena ase ikakhulu kati nase afuna ngoba bona babuke kakhulu abantu laba HIV positive sithi kumuntu HIV positive akabe sendleleni yekuhlela lenga controlwa nguye ngiyabekisa amaphilisi wawakhohlwa utawuthwala angaka kubincele lamasotsha akhe emtimba angakavumi ukuthi ngawuba nesisu.
Ndlangamandla uthi kulomnyaka babuke ukuthi batawuvakashela imiphakathi ekufundziseni ngesive ngetindzaba tekuhlela umndeni letibalungelako. Etindzabeni kubika Sondomlangeni nginaThemba Shabangu eMbabane.
Kutemidlalo, umshayi wesibhakela wakuleli Thabiso Dlamini lochubekana nemalungiselelo emidlalo yema-Olympics eminyaka wa-2024 letawubanjelwa eveni lase-France edolobheni le-Paris lekwanyala useveni lase-Morocco lapho khona angenele imichudzelwano lehlukahlukene uthi le midlalo imsita kakhulu kulamalungiselelo. Dlamini uphume kuma-quarterfinals endzebeni ye-gold belt lefaka ekhatsi emavela ahamba embili emdlalweni wesibhakela. Dlamini nakaphuma kuma-quarterfinals bekacuthelene nemdlali wekutalelwa evenile Azerbaijan. Dlamini uthi kunyenti lakufundzile lokukhomba ukuthi lizinga lakhe seliphakeme.
So nyalo nje ngingasho ukuthi we are on the right track nangabe sikhonile nje kuhlula i-Azerbaijan 30-27 kusho kona ukuthi siyathi sifika kulo July wama qualifiers kutabe sekungcono kakhulu. Kuhle kakhulu because sesikhonile nokuthi ma rankings sitawukhuphuka kakhulu kutawuba ngconywana because sitawuthola nama-point. So ngingasho nje ukuthi overall performance beyihle kakhulu because sikhonile nekubona emaphutha ethu and i-improvement beyiningi kakhulu because nale sparring bengikhala ngaso nasekhaya sengiyasithola nyalo. So ngingasho nje lokho ukuthi si-ready silungiselele and we preparing for another tournament letaba very soon.
Inhlangano edlalisa umdlalo wamabhayisikili lapha eVeni seyivetile ukuthi kulomnyaka losetulu ubheke ukuthi ibambe imicuthelwano le-12. Umcuthelwano lomkhulu watiwa ngekuthi i-National Championship kubheke ukuthi ubanjwe mhla tinge-25 enyangeni yeNhlaba. Umcuthelwano wekucala kulomnyaka ubheke ukuthi ubanjwe mhla ka-25 kule nyanga lesetulu kanti watiwa ngekuthi i-Safety Awareness Ride letabanjelwa edolobheni eZulwini. Imicuthelwano lefaka ekhatsi i-MTN Khemani Road Classic, Ingwenya Class, MTB Challenge nayo ubheke ukuthi iphindze ibuye kulomnyaka. Inhlangano ithi le micuthelwano itawuphindze isite abashovi bemabhayisikili labalungiselela imidlalo yangaphandle. Inhlangano ledlalisa imidlalo ye-Premier League of Eswatini ithi masinyane isayitawubikela emacembu kanye nabo balandzeli bemidlalo yebhola lapha eVeni ukuthi ithathe siphi isinyathelo mayelana nendzaba yema-ambulances labonakale ayinkinga kulamalanga njengoba sekaphuta kufika etinkhundleni tetemidlalo noma yagcina angakefiki inhlobo. Lokhu kuphocelele leminye yalemidlalo ukuthi igcine imisiwe. Inhlangano ithi kwanyalo ikhulumisana nahulumende ukuthi kutholakale isombululo lesikhonsako mayelana nalendzaba. I-Premier League ithi umthetho uchaza kahle ukuthi ilicembu ledlalisa umdlalo i-hosting club kubheke ukuthi kube ngilo leliletha i-ambulance kanye ne-security kuleyo inkhundla lapho kudlalelwa khona. Anatoti imidlalo satiphetha atindzaba date futhi 28 minutes after 6 asithathe likhefu sitabuya sichubeke nehlelo ezinshini esimo sezitulu.
Watch local TV on the go with the Eswatini TV app for only 20 emalangeni per month. Do the most with Eswatini TV app. Download from Google Play Store or App Store.
We're good together. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Why should we pay our TV license?
The content on our local television is actually more up to date. The industry is enhanced.
It is a criminal offense not to pay your TV license and attracts a fine of 500 emalangeni or 6 months imprisonment.
And the industry is definitely blooming, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we have for you. But we'll be right back just after the break and we'll give you more of Miss V.
Pay my TV license. That's why I can enjoy the benefits of an enhanced industry and keep track with recent transformation.
Mommy, who pays for a TV license and what are they paying for?
The owners of TV set and gadget with a tuner like DVD set have to pay.
Pay your TV license at NetBank with the details provided on screen. Or use your cell phone via the mobile money pay. You could also visit your nearest post office and pay there. Pay your TV license via Eswatini Mobile Imali. Any TV device retailer can purchase a license to trade. Pay your TV license and enhance the industry.
Pay your TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo. Simply dial *007 *3 hash and select option 8 for TV license. Enter your national ID number as your reference and the amount you wish to pay. Then enter your PIN to confirm your payment. Once your payment has been made, you'll receive a confirmation SMS of your payment. If you're a first-time payer, you get another SMS for your TV license. So legalize your entertainment from the comfort of your home. Pay your TV license the easy and convenient way with MTN Momo.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome back. Now, the International Day of Women and Girls in Science is observed every 11th of February. Now, this year it is observed on the 10th of February in the United Nations headquarters. Women experts, youth and professionals engage in dialogue and discussions to put science, technology and innovation at the heart of sustainable development programs. Now, this is all done to address the significant gender gap that has persisted throughout the years at all levels of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Now, pretty much all STEM disciplines all over the world. Now, the going notion is that even though women have made tremendous progress towards increasing their participation in higher education, they are still underrepresented in these fields. Now, the United Nations cites this really as a huge concern, mainly because gender equality and the empowerment of women and girls will make a crucial contribution not only to economic development of the world, but to progress across all the goals and targets of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development as well. How wide is the underrepresentation of women and girls in science? How and how much does it affect the economic development of the world? I'm joined in studio by Nelsiwe Ndwandwe, who is the Science Programs Officer at the United Nations Education, Science and Cultural Organization, who is not alone. She's with Lwandle Simelane, who is the Senior Officer in the Department of Science, Research and Innovation under the Ministry of ICT. They join me right now. Thank you so much for waking up namhla ekuseni ngisho kumakhathi alitulu lina ngesiyathi kumnanzi kulala kodwa nje nathi indzaba leti inkulu kakhulu indzaba lisathe yothi passionate ngathi sihlale senibona ntikhulumisa ngicela ukuthi sikhulumise nalomuhla. We see the International Day of Women and Girls in Science lesivele sikuyo this coming weekend. Ngiyafuna lokuva ngicale ngawe mnguni wasekutu isithini isicubulo salena. What is the theme for this year's International Day of Women and Girls in Science?
Siyabonga Mnguni, ngibonge nginakumbongela ekhaya. Lo nyaka sicubulo sithi equity, diversity and inclusion. Lokusho ukuthi sikhuthata ukuthi iscience yethu noma ke tinhlelo te science lesitendako emaveni lahlukahlukene akhuthate iaccess lekahle kubo bonke bomake nabobabe kanye kanye nekokuthi i-respect i-diversity kuma-nationalities or etindleleni letiningi bantfu labachuba ngayo i-science ku-understanda lokho ukuthi kukhona lokho ukuthi umuntu unendlela yakhe yekwenta i-science njengekufanda ima-solutions bo-indigenous knowledge you know, or in science. So siyamukele leyo diversity ukuthi indlela lesifanda ngama solutions ingete yafana, but we need to come up with one solution to a problem. So siphinze futhi sikhuthathe inclusion ukuthi bomake abangasaleli ngaphandle phela, sithi sikhuthatha bobabe nabo ukuthi bangenele letite science nabo make sibakhuthade ngoba according to the UNESCO Institute of Statistics sithi worldwide bomake laba graduate ku STEM, the city science, technology, engineering and mathematics is bang over 35%. Lokusho ukuthi as umhlaba noma nathi silive la kangwane, we need to do more in encouraging more girls and women to participate in science program ngoba science will be better if sine more women taking up space in science.
I want to get into the Sugu. I have a few questions there, but I just want to, for the benefit of the viewer, such days, let's observe normally the events.
Lonyaka, we won't have an event.
Okay.
However, we're looking to having one in March, which is the International Women's Month.
Okay.
So please look out for that, and we'll be advertising on our page on the government website, and as well as the Kingdom of Eswatini Academy of Sciences pages.
Interesting. Now, again, it also wants to touch on sustainable development goals, which is the United Nations agenda. What are these sustainable development goals?
We're focused on infrastructure,
okay,
inclusive infrastructure,
yes,
and equality, gender equality. Those are crucial. Women represent half the population, the world's population, and it is important that they take part with their develop socio-economic development issues.
Yeah.
If they represent half the population, then they deserve a seat on the table when decisions are being made.
Yeah.
I mean, look around you. We talk about infrastructure. It's all science. Last studio, it's science.
Science, of
Let
course.
women be a part of that equally, and with, of course, equity, access.
Yeah.
Like Nikki mentioned, access. I would say women and young girls.
But can you cite examples of where you feel underrepresented within infrastructure science? If I look around, if I go about with my days.
Yeah. For me, I will definitely talk about leadership.
Okay.
In the science space. It's one thing to have graduates,
okay,
and it's another to have women being represented in the boardrooms where decisions are being made. I like to give the example of a seatbelt, whereby men developed a seatbelt.
Okay.
And it was a group of men, which is, okay, yes. However, no one thought about pregnant women. And that's when inclusion and diversity and representation matters really, really come in. And if you look at the bigger picture, we have sanitation, we have childbirth. Women need to have a seat when those are being discussed. And most of the time, that is the core essence of science.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think bengayivala ukuthi yaphi le direction, but there's no uqala kuveta pregnancy or veta how the women's biological, the biology is set up with regards to having breasts with the seat belt. I can see how it can be an issue there. Well put. When we look at domesticate, when you look at legislation, do you feel like it includes women? Gosh, it serves women as much as it does serve men. How far have we come in that regard?
Yes. When it comes to legislations and policies, yes, we are, as a country, are doing very much well in advocating that women should be represented. However, when it comes to the practical implementation of these policies, yes, you find that, yes, women are underrepresented, basically, yes, especially as Luande said, that in the leadership and also in leadership when it comes to science, even in the classroom situation, teachers will say, okay, because you are men, you are the one to light up the Benson Penna, no, so girls are treated like delicate people. They are not motivated to take up space, especially in engineering, in the field of engineering. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Ngoni, you are under the Ministry of ICT, and some of these policies, of course, and Diwangini, just give us a highlight of these policies.
Okay,
and other perhaps interventions to make sure that women are included.
Okay, thank you very much. We have, like Nikki said, we have made tremendous progress. Especially, firstly, you need to acknowledge that we do have this issue of underrepresentation. And we have the Science, Technology and Innovation National Policy, which is a draft, and it addresses robustly issues on women representation. And also we do develop some key institutions of the National System of Innovation, such as the Kingdom of Eswatini Academy of Sciences, which will have a wing for young girls. And I would just like to mention that the president is actually a woman, Dr. Tabile Ndovu. Hopefully one day we'll have her on the show.
But do you have some male employees under that organization? Because you're speaking or you're preaching inclusion. Do you include men?
Yes. Okay. Can I just mention also that we do have the Women in Engineering, Science and Technology chapter, of which was realized by the SADC. We realized that in the southern region we do have a problem, rather, of underrepresentation in science, technology and innovation. And I like that you speak of men. Men also represent the other half of the population. So it's important that they understand that they are our allies. This is a partnership. We all exist in one society. We need solutions that are not fragmented, that we are all involved in making. If we talk of social economic development, we cannot leave the men behind. However, we need to be robust in bringing up the women.
Interesting. So when we talk about, you spoke of a statistic, and I look at some of these statistics with regards to employment in the science field. Some of them highlight the fact that some women are employed, but they are paid less compared to their male counterparts in the science field. And some of them, of course, the representation in terms of employment, there are more men who are employed in the science field. And for me, that speaks to the question, I would say, what is the problem really? We have women that have qualified, that have qualifications in the science field, but they are not getting jobs. There are barriers into, entering labor. What is the problem really when it comes to this, and how should it be addressed?
The main challenge is the norms, the societal norms and standards, and the stereotype that women cannot do much. It is deeply rooted in our societies, and if we can change that, kulama communities, nama societies, yes, women can do it, and science is better off with women. And as we are going to celebrate lelanga nga Saturday on the 11th, city ema organizations onke nema government departments bohulumende bonke bemave aka UNESCO akachubeke aqinise tinhlelo tekuthi bomake baparticipate ku science nemamfombatane kube nalema programs tiqiniso yebo tiyendeka, but we have to do much. Yebo ngoba siyabona ku statistics nasikhuluma ngabo 35%, kusho ukuthi kufuna ukuthi sisebenze kakhulu sikutshintsha nemicomvo yebamfu ukuthi bakholelwe emsebenzini wamake kakhulu kulete science.
I want us to look at, because you spoke of inclusion, you spoke of diversity, and you spoke of diversification. Am I correct? What did you say? Remind me.
Inclusion.
Three parts.
Equity.
Equity.
Diversity. And inclusion.
Yeah. Okay, equal opportunities. Ngunasebuhleni asingene endzabeni equity. Ngile ngakubona outside of this ukhuluma ngato tindzaba the equity for women. How far have you progressed in that regard?
We are making slow progress because when we talk about equity, it goes as far as the gender roles. Mangabe nje ekhaya kuna bhuti nasisi utshela sisi hamba uclean hamba upheka umfana akahamba ayodlala. And those consequences are far reaching. They impact a choice, which makes us to be behind when it comes to issues of equity, because it's access. It's those grassroots issues that determine my choices. Let the girls play outside. Let everyone teach them life skills. Upheka nje necleaner, those are life skills. It's not a woman's job. And until we understand that kuqala lapho, indzaba iqala ekhaya. Thina nje i-approach lesifuna kuyithatha with WISET, which is Women in Science, Engineering and Technology, is that we want to go to the regions and speak to the leaders there and help them understand, engage in those conversations, because we really want our women from all across, from the rural areas to the towns, to understand that you have a chance in science. You can take part in science. So that's the approach we are taking.
Okay. Okay. Engabe sinayo kangakanani ke ma programs la part of the inclusion aspect. Do you have programs that are looking into accommodating people living with disabilities? I think I saw at Inzabeni, you could see people laba blind. There is a program that is looking to, include them. I don't know what is it, women in braille, in science. Do we have programs that look into accommodating people with disabilities? Good.
Yes, for us as UNESCO globally, we do have a program programs la nagabamfu laba ne disability ga science. For example, this year na celebrate on the 10th nje. If you can follow our website, we will have a slot vele lesikhuluma ngekumotivate blind girls in science. So nathi sesi take up a space kubona ukuthi no le sector lenabe noma le theme lenabe isalele move. So sesiqale uku-addressa kakhulu.
Yeah, and just to add on to what she's saying, we have a partnership. We will be signing an MOU. Hopefully we'll invite the team.
You heard it here first, right?
Yes. Okay. So we will be signing an MOU with UNESCO. So we will definitely tap into that space. Minorities will be represented.
Yeah.
We are coming for everything.
Coming for everything. I like that. I have this document here. It has a did you know part. It says women are typically given smaller research grants than their male colleagues. And while they represent 33.3% of all researchers, only 12% of members, national science academics are women. That is, to me, unfair. Again, there's another one which I think is very interesting. It says, despite a shortage of skills in most of technological fields driving the fourth industrial revolution, women still account for only 28% of engineering graduates and 40% of graduates in computer science and informatics. Now, nayigelele interested do you see ikona demotivation to women as they go into tertiary to get into these spaces of technology because babona the reality of the day kugcwele men? I think I mentioned to one of my friends, I watched the Nobel Peace Prize laureate awards. Most of the time, my males, white males. So when you look at the reality every day, Obona, Bantu Lisa, in these fields, do you think that fits into a woman, you know what, don't do this as Colin. Instead, humble in the teaching, instead, humble in the look, because we do see a lot of female teachers. Do you think that's a reality?
You struck the nail on the head. That's exactly when we talk about representation is important. Gumtoga with that young girl, ambone, I see another woman, see a girl, a shiner in the field.
Yeah,
it's really important. It does strike a chord with me when I see a woman climbing the ladder.
Okay.
It really does. Representation matters and would deep. And
Yeah.
it's true. Women in the research field are usually given more roles about assistant, and they are capable.
Yeah.
Women are very much capable.
And you know what I like? I like that we do sit with the both of you here right now. You are women in leadership positions in your various fields, and especially in under your ministry, your minister is female. I think Itolo, the person that was representing your minister at Nzabeni, was female. And that kind of representation, I think, to the young Swati girl Lobugelago, Ekaya, get motivated with, you know what, the space for us, there's definitely a seat at the table. So in as much as Kalingwe would say, okay, the progress is slow, but I think it is picking up. So thank you so much for joining us, Lamhla and Uhlelweni. I think with that, we've covered a lot. And I'm happy that you mentioned Gutsi Senda Bonagle Women's Month. Yeah. Thank you so much. So, International Day of Women and Girls in Science. That young girl, Losekaya, Lapo Ekaya, nawe mage, unagoge kuputeleka ukuthi tinzaba te science, ungabi demotivated kutingenela, because there's definitely a seat at the table for women and girls at Tinzabeni te science. The time is 54 minutes after 6. Especially at Magete. Nasibuya sichubeka nehlelo.
Do you remember the spinning thing? This is us. This picture represents what we did. We were there when coronavirus wreaked havoc in our population. Together with other stakeholders, we formed the first line, controlling the spread of the unknown and unseen enemy of the people. Anxious ourselves, we collected dead bodies countrywide. At the time when no one wanted to come near dead bodies of loved ones, we did care for our fellow citizens. Thank you, the people of Eswatini and teams of first responders.
Five minutes before 7. Let's kasanya loke sithola traffic update le chamuka emaphoyiseni elicingweni ngesesinaye Sergeant Bekmuzi Gule lo hlale nje yasipha yona traffic update. Magwabane sikuvuselela umhla elihlelweni. Engabe sime kanjani simo emigwaqweni?
Anguvusele Mnguni, ngivusele umbukelo walohlelo awu solo line njalo liyachitheka indzawo letiningi lekwenta ke ukuthi ke mhlawumbe etindzawo letiningi kubonakale sekuvaleke nanka ema-drainage njengako nje kuwo umgwaqo wethu lomkhulu losuka lapha ekele lasengwenya sekubonakala emanti ayageleta etindzawo letiningi, lamanye ajuba wona umfula, lamanye kanti emile kuletinye indzawo enda ke wona emadamu. Siyakhuthata nje kakhulu ukuthi bashayeli kulesimo lesikhona ngaphandle asilehlise litubane libe ngileliphansi, emehlo akho abe ngilakhaliphile. Yebo kubona ngesikhathi lokho lokungahle kube ingoti bese uthatha sinqumo lesiyaba ngilesifanele. Nekukulandzela ke lenye imoto lo aseneke isiqiniseko sokuthi siyakugcina kuba ngumgamu lophephile. Kanjalo ke nekukhanyisa emalambu wendele ukuthi lomunye akubone ngesikhathi atothatha inqumo letiyaba ngileto letifanele. Lapha nje na usuka khona kamanzini lapha kalogoba na uyofika noma ke na usanza kwenzana i-overram ubona nali yalibloho kunelidamu lemanti ngesekudla lele yeme yona nayo immediate elingoti kakhulu na uyahamba ngesivinini lesikhulu kakhulu lapho. Nakuletinye ke tindzawo siyacela nje bekunene sidinge futhi siqaphele nemhlamathi longena nawo phela imvula emgwaqweni ukuthi nawo uyachubeka ube sithikabetho lesikhulu. Singethe satibala iningi kakhulu letindzawo la kubonakala khona imvula iba nemithelela lemibi ikakhulukazi emigwaqweni. Nalapho ke emanti mhlambe sekabonakala hamba ngetulu kwelibloho. Yebo sisabutha imibiko legcwele nalephelele kusiniketa sona sive lengikholwa ukuthi umchumanisi uyawuqhubeka nilethele ngalokuphelele indzawo lapho sekubonakala khona ukuthi akusahambeki khona. Kepha ke sithi nje awu wena losasebenzisa umgwaqo naka qaphela ungathathi emathomo ekwela umfula nalapho noma ke emabloho lapho sekubonakala emanti amaningi khona kanjalo nakubo batali sibakhuthaze ukuthi bantwana babaphekele tele bende isiqiniseko sokuthi lapho bahamba khona kungitho indzawo letiphephile baphephile nabo kuyawufika khona esikolweni kwatise ukuthi umfana ngekufundiswa kwethu noma ngekusho kwemthetho solo uyaqatshangelwa kudinga ukuthi kube nguwena mtali lothatha isinqumo ikakhulukazi ekusebenziseni kwakhe ke wona umgwaqo ngendlela leyo bangilephephile kanti sibona lesemgwaqo disebena kahle emadolobheni ethu onke ngawo nje ama-potholes lakhulako nemigwaqo lebonakala ingasekho lesimeni lesikahle ngato-ke timvula siyakhuthaza nje kakhulu bekunene ukuthi asinake kakhulu kulesimo lesikhona wena isiqiniseko sokuthi la ukhona khona tekuphepha utibeka embili ngaso sonke isikhathi siyabonga kakhulu sinifisele ilanga lelisha emngonini saqhubeka nemsebenzi wenu naso sive semaswati sifisele ilanga lelisha naleliphephile sawusebenzisa umgwaqo.
Sibonga kuluma kwabana isikhathi sakho nanawe-ke sikufisela lusuku loluhle nisachuba wona umsebenzi welive sibahlolela emakethe nasibuya sibuka nizaba lichamuka ngephandle kwalapha ekhaya.
Watch local TV on the go with the Eswatini TV app for only 20 emalangeni per month. Do the most with Eswatini TV app. Download from Google Play Store or App Store.
We're good together. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Let's get into our international news. We start in Syria, a country that is still limping from a recent earthquake. In the town of Sakhalin, Syria, there were cries of euphoria as a little girl was pulled out of the rubble of a collapsed house. More than 40 hours after being trapped during Monday's earthquakes, it is just one of several miracle rescues that have provided moments of joy amid the destruction and despair. But as time goes on, such moments are likely to become increasingly rare. Let's take a look.
Huddled together for hours on end, wedged between the concrete of what is left of their home. These two children from a video posted to social media appear to be one of the many rescued from rubble in Syria. In the town of Sakhalin, cries of joy as this other little girl is pulled out of the rubble of a collapsed house. Authorities say she was trapped there for over 40 hours. At this stage of the effort, every rescue is a miracle. Two children and their father were greeted by a euphoric crowd as they were pulled out by Syria's white helmets 2 days after being trapped. Similar scenes are also taking place in Turkey, where rescue efforts go on around the clock, and every minute counts.
Yes, all of a sudden we heard voices, and thanks to the excavator, the driver shouted, and immediately we heard the voices of 3 people at the same time. We're expecting more of them.
But as the hours creep forward, these scenes of relief are becoming rarer and rarer. Emre is one of the many hoping for the best, but expecting the worst. While rescuers dig away with limited tools, his entire family is trapped in the building behind him.
I've been here since yesterday. I'm begging for help.
Until 6 hours ago, he could still hear his sister under the rubble, but now, only silence.
Now, for more on Syria, efforts to bring international aid to northern Syria following the devastating earthquake that hit the region after proving challenging, in part because of the tense political situation in the country. While most of Syria is under the control of the government in Damascus, much of the north is controlled by different and sometimes conflicting groups.
The emergency rescue team at work here in Jableh in northern Syria is from Russia. The Russian Emergency Situations Ministry has sent more than 50 people, made up of 3 teams with dogs, to help Damascus with recovery efforts.
The hardest thing is that there are slabs of concrete hanging down. We're working really carefully. We continue to remove rubble in the hope that there may be empty areas where we will still find people alive. There is still hope given the weather is favorable. There's no frost here right now.
Other countries helping Syria include Iran. Iranian aid here is being unloaded at Aleppo airport. And there's help too from Jordan. It's one of several countries liaising with Damascus. They include the UAE, Iraq and Algeria. However, those opposed to the regime of Bashar al-Assad don't trust Damascus to get help to opposition areas. The Syrian Arab Red Crescent says it's ready to deliver aid to all quake-hit areas, including those not under government control. It wants sanctions lifted in light of the massive destruction.
The Red Crescent and others are asking the international community, including the European Union, all countries and member states of the European Union, to lift economic sanctions on Syria.
The EU and US have exemptions on sanctions for humanitarian aid. Brussels, however, says Damascus hasn't yet formally requested EU help. Washington is sending aid to Turkey and says it will provide aid in Syria through its humanitarian partners on the ground instead of the government. Meanwhile, in both parts of northern Syria, government and opposition controlled, local emergency workers say only limited assistance is arriving in what are catastrophic circumstances.
We look at the United States now, where President Joe Biden touted his administration's economic accomplishments as he delivered his second annual State of the Union address in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday night, while also acknowledging the political challenges ahead after Democrats lost control of the House of Representatives in recent midterm elections.
A victory lap for Joe Biden in his second State of the Union address as the U.S. economy proves remarkably resilient.
I stand here tonight after we've created, with the help of many people in this room, 12 million new jobs. More jobs created in 2 years than any president's created in 4 years because of you all.
America's unemployment rate indeed stands at a 5-decade low of 3.4%. Inflation, too, is coming down after 8 interest rate hikes from the U.S. Federal Reserve since 2022 and easing energy shocks from the war in Ukraine.
Let's face reality.
Biden touting his legislative accomplishments, including a $1 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill, as well as the $369 billion green energy and prescription drugs bill known as the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022.
The Inflation Reduction Act is also the most significant investment ever in climate change. And we pay for these investments in our future by finally making the wealthiest and biggest corporations begin to pay their fair share.
Political fights are looming after the GOP took control of the House of Representatives in last year's midterm elections. With hard-right Republicans threatening a showdown over America's debt limit, Biden promised to protect Social Security and Medicare, provoking howls from the GOP side of the aisle.
My office, I'll give you a copy. We're once again joined by Ukrainians.
Foreign policy also looming large over Tuesday's speech. Biden promised to stand with Ukraine against Russia's ongoing invasion and to stand up to China amid a major diplomatic incident with Beijing over a Chinese spy balloon.
I've never been more optimistic about our future.
As he listed his accomplishments, the 80-year-old Biden said he's just getting started, potentially laying the groundwork for a re-election bid in 2024.
President Joe Biden also spoke directly to the American people and a divided Congress on Tuesday evening in his State of the Union address. Rising tensions with China and the lingering war in Ukraine were the main foreign policy issues that he addressed.
As President Joe Biden spoke to a joint session of Congress Tuesday evening on the State of the Nation, tensions with China loomed large after a suspected Chinese surveillance balloon captured the attention of both lawmakers and ordinary Americans. Without mentioning the balloon specifically, Biden sought to reassure Americans while sending this message to China.
I'm committed to work with China where we can advance American interests and benefit the world, but make no mistake about it. As we made clear last week, if China threatens our sovereignty, we will act to protect our country, and we did.
On Saturday, a U.S. fighter jet shot down the balloon in midair over the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of South Carolina. China has called the U.S. shooting down of the balloon unacceptable and an overreaction. Some Republicans criticized Biden for not ordering the balloon shot down earlier as it traversed the country. They may be looking for a tougher stance on China. Michael Kugelman of the Wilson Center told VOA.
So he was not taking a forceful hawkish position. He was leaving open some space for conciliation. And I really don't think those members of Congress that want a more hardline stand would have been satisfied with what he said tonight.
Russia's war against Ukraine was also featured in Biden's address. The U.S. has committed more than $27 billion in security assistance to Ukraine. Biden said Russian President Vladimir Putin's invasion 1 year ago was a test that America passed.
We united NATO. We built a global coalition. We stood against Putin's aggression. We stood with the Ukrainian people. Tonight, we're once again joined by Ukrainian's ambassador to the United States. She represents not just her nation, but the courage of her people.
Some Republicans have been skeptical of military aid to Ukraine, but that was not the case when Republicans in the chamber, including House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, appeared to strongly support Biden's remarks.
I have to say, I saw a lot more support coming from the Republican side of the aisle when he was speaking about Ukraine, particularly at the moment when he said, "We are in it as long as it takes." This is something that we have heard the Republican Party push back on, specifically saying that there wasn't a blank check for Ukraine.
Apart from the war in Ukraine and a long-planned pivot to Asia, President Biden is planning for the first visit to sub-Saharan Africa by an American president since 2015. Cindy Sain, VOA News, Washington.
President Joe Biden says he wants the United States Congress to seek bipartisan cooperation on the significant domestic and foreign policy challenges facing the United States in the coming months.
President Joe Biden with a message of bipartisanship for the U.S. Congress Tuesday night.
If we could work together the last Congress, there's no reason we can't work together and find consensus on important things in this Congress as well.
But on Capitol Hill, now divided between a Democratic majority U.S. Senate and a Republican majority U.S. House of Representatives, lawmakers disagreed on the big issues Biden said the country needed to address.
The Republicans chant this close the border, without really conceding that that is not the solution to the problem. I think we can get more serious about the border, other ports of entry like airports, but we also have to really get down to our dreamers, those several million people, some of them adults by now in their 30s, who came to this country through no fault of their own.
But some Republicans are skeptical of Biden's request for more funding for border security, fearing it would be used in ways that encourage rather than discourage migration.
If we give them more money, they're going to use it to count more and facilitate the processing of more immigrants coming in. Instead of stopping the immigration and disincentivizing it, that's where that money will be used.
Biden said backing Ukraine is a key U.S. national security interest.
Putin's invasion has been a test for the ages.
This is our reputation at stake in front of the world, in front of the global community. We stand for democracy. We're the beacon of hope to democracies around the world. We must stand with Ukraine.
But House Republicans want more oversight of U.S. aid to help combat the Russian invasion.
What's the plan? To suggest that it's just open-ended, a blank check in Ukraine. Now remember, when we ship armament to Ukraine, we don't control where that armament's going.
Republicans also say that Biden did not react quickly enough to the suspected Chinese surveillance balloon that was shot down last week.
I think he's very tentative. He doesn't want to provoke, but by doing so, he's actually tempting the Chinese to do more. I think they sense weakness.
But Biden argued the United States is in competition, not conflict with China.
The president did the right thing and waited till it left our coast and it was in a safe place to shoot it out of the sky, and we did. And I think we showed China, Russia, and the world that if you come and try these type of maneuvers in our country, that we're going to take repercussions.
The divided Congress will face a major test in late May when the debt ceiling must be raised to avoid a U.S. government default. Catherine Gibson, VOA News, Capitol Hill.
Now, in the United States, Republican and Democratic lawmakers debate the Biden's administration's handling of a suspected Chinese spy balloon that traversed the United States. Ordinary Americans also have strong opinions about the incidents.
Washington called this orb in the sky a Chinese surveillance balloon that violated U.S. airspace and sovereignty. Beijing said it was a civilian weather research airship that was blown off course. U.S. objections to the incident and Beijing's complaints after a U.S. jet fighter downed the balloon sound almost identical.
Is both unacceptable and irresponsible.
This is an unacceptable and irresponsible behavior.
Americans' take on this trans-Pacific he said, she said?
It's really hard to know which one is right, because to me it's like being a mom that arrives to a room and you see your two kids fighting. You don't know who's saying the truth, you don't know who's lying, so at the end, since you're the mom and you can be unbiased, since you can be unfair, basically what you tell is like, okay, you go to your room, time out, and there's no time for either one of you because I have absolutely no idea who the two of you is right.
Some Americans are waiting for more information, like Fabricio Rodriguez.
So I haven't heard anything that convinces me one way or the other that it was, I mean, it is strange for even a research balloon to be there, so I think that's very suspicious, but I'm not going to jump to any conclusion.
Beijing says shooting down the balloon was an overreaction, but James Kenney says President Joe Biden's order was measured.
I wouldn't say overreacting because he waited till it was away. If he would have just shot it down immediately, that would have been an overreaction, I think.
If it does turn out that this was a spy balloon, it's not a big deal, considering what else is out there, says this woman who identifies herself as Jennifer.
There are satellites all over the earth that the Chinese have put up there to find out anything they probably ever wanted to know about anything in America.
Christina says the U.S. has a right to find out what the balloon carried and its purpose.
If it's on U.S. soil, it's like if I find something on my backyard, yeah, I'm going to check what the heck that is. If somebody tells me, no, it's mine, and it's just, I'm like, yeah, but it's in my backyard. Why is that thing in my backyard? Is it a freaking camera where you're spying? What the heck is that thing?
U.S. investigators will examine debris from the balloon to learn more about it and Beijing's goals in sending it. Elizabeth Lee, VOA News, Washington.
We come now to Africa, where in Ghana there are fears about a possible spillover of the jihadist violence plaguing neighboring Burkina Faso, with Ghanaian government officials saying consequences could be devastating, potentially sparking ethnic violence.
Elima's town is still within eyesight. It's less than 2 kilometers away in Burkina Faso, just across the border from where she is now in northern Ghana. In December, jihadist gunmen infiltrated her town, killing 2 people. Now, many are too scared to go back.
It's my country, but now we're scared to be there. Burkina is no good anymore. People are being slaughtered like chickens. It's no good anymore.
Her children still cross over to go to school in their old town, but at night, they come back to Ghana. The authorities say the presence of these refugees has got people in Ghana worried about what could be in store for them. Thousands of people have been killed in Burkina Faso over the past years. 2 million have been displaced. The country is grappling with a jihadist insurgency which spread into the country from neighboring Mali. Now, Ghanaian officials say they're mobilizing the army, police, and immigration authorities to help control the porous border. They warn of the consequences should the violence spill over into Ghana.
If we have an insecurity like, the other countries are having, it's basically going to tear Ghana apart, because Ghana is, remember, we have over 1,500 ethnic groupings, and we are all knitted together and living together. So if they are able to, use a particular ethnic group and they are fighting against the other groups, you can just imagine what is going to happen.
The authorities say they're not taking any chances. For now, there still hasn't been a direct attack on Ghana.
Now, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has promised continued military support for Mali in its battle against an ongoing jihadist insurgency as he visited the country on Tuesday. Mali's military junta has looked to strengthen ties with Moscow following a soaring of relations with its former colonial power, France, resulting in Bamako ordering French troops out of the country.
Pulling out all the stops for the Russian foreign minister. Malian officials presented Sergei Lavrov with a traditional Tuareg sword. They also made him a commander of the National Order of Mali. Lavrov called his first official visit to the country historic and hailed the alliance between Bamako and Moscow in the fight against an ongoing jihadist insurgency.
We will continue to provide the necessary support to our friends, not only in matters of economic and trade development and humanitarian assistance, but also in solving the problem of increasing the Malian forces' combat capability, training military personnel and law enforcement officers.
Since expelling French forces last year, Mali's military leader, Colonel Assimi Goïta, has sought to strengthen ties with Moscow. The ruling junta has brought in Russian helicopters, fighter jets, and paramilitaries. It's a relationship that has worried the West, who say the Russian operatives are Wagner mercenaries, a private military group deployed by the Kremlin and accused of human rights abuses. Allegations dismissed by Mali's foreign minister.
Minister, by choosing to strengthen cooperation with Russia, Mali also wants to show and demonstrate that we are not going to continue to justify ourselves for our choice of our partners. This is a Malian decision, a decision taken with responsibility.
The foreign minister also confirmed that Colonel Goïta will attend a Russia-Africa summit to be held in St. Petersburg in July. Faced with Western sanctions over the war in Ukraine, Moscow is seeking to expand its influence on the African continent, wooing leaders, some of whom have refused to publicly condemn the war.
Now, an update on the Russia and war Ukraine. Russian troops occupied the village of Sihurika for 9 months. When they retreated, they left behind a deadly legacy of booby traps and land mines. A Ukrainian demining team is working to make the area safe again.
We're ready.
Fire!
In this video, members of a Ukrainian bomb disposal squad are deactivating mines in the Mykolaiv region of southern Ukraine.
A wide array of munitions, artillery shells, rocket-propelled grenades, cluster munitions and land mines.
The village of Snyhurivka in the Mykolaiv region was occupied by Russian troops for over 9 months. Ukraine's armed forces liberated the village in November, but locals still couldn't return. That's because Russian forces left behind all kinds of mines, booby traps, and undetonated munitions.
They were expecting an attack and made booby traps to be prepared. They wanted to protect themselves, but then they had to withdraw and just left things as is.
Before anyone can move back, the minesweepers move in.
We don't go in blind. We get some information first, meaning if we are told there are potential mines somewhere, that's where we go. We start by inspecting the road because we'll use it later to move around. Then we proceed with the rest of the area.
Usually, one of the first areas minesweepers scrutinize is under power lines. The sooner that area is clear, the sooner electricity can be restored. The bomb disposal team never forgets their job can be a deadly one.
In villages, we would find grenades, mortar bombs, undetonated munitions. These objects are especially dangerous because handling them incorrectly may lead to death or serious injuries of arms, hands, and eyes. Non-experts should never even touch them.
All the dangerous objects minesweepers find are then taken to a special facility used for storing undetonated munitions and later for defusing them.
Fear is a sign of common sense. People should be afraid to touch these objects, even minesweepers. If they have no fear, that's a problem. It forces us to be more careful, because you know people will be back in this area after you leave.
In December, 3 munitions experts were killed while searching for mines in the Kherson region. Officials with the Emergency Service Unit say that since the start of Russia's invasion, over 8,000 undetonated munitions have been found and destroyed in the Mykolaiv region alone. For Elizaveta Krotek in Mykolaiv region, Ukraine, NRI's VOA News.
Nearly a year ago, tens of thousands of Ukrainians sought refuge in the United States as Russian troops invaded their country. VOA speaks to 2 Ukrainian families in California about their lives 1 year later.
Ukrainian children play in the city of Santa Monica. Watched over by their parents, 2 families adapting to new lives in the United States. They're among the thousands who fled Ukraine and entered California through Tijuana, Mexico, under special temporary resettlement programs.
It was a difficult way through Mexico with 2 kids, but now we are happy that we are here. We are in safety, we are in a good society, good environment, and especially this place, Santa Monica, we love it.
Her 2 daughters are adapting and doing well in school, where Natalia is a volunteer classroom parent. And through her work at a nonprofit organization, the International Institute of Los Angeles, she helps other Ukrainians rent an apartment, enroll their children in school, and deal with any problems.
And I have a list of solutions. If you have this problem, you can do this. If you have this problem, you can do this.
Some issues, however, are difficult to solve. Married couple Olga and Petro Kovalchuk, physicians from Ukraine, say that getting jobs as doctors in America is not easy. Both are ear, nose, and throat specialists, and they are studying for the English language exam to become licensed physicians in the United States.
It's our passion. Medicine is our passion.
Working to re-enter their profession as they raise 3 small children.
When they go to home after school, I think, oh my gosh.
They are very noisy.
Yes, they very noisy, very active. They want
to play, to sing, to cry, to scream.
For these families, there are reminders of the brutal war in their homeland and the ongoing threat to loved ones still in Ukraine.
And every day we read this news and we are upset. It's difficult.
These displaced Ukrainians are happy to be in a place that is safe for their children and grateful for the help they have received from ordinary Americans, government programs, and aid groups.
We are strong and we are young. And thank you, God, and thank you, Americans, that we are here.
But he says as temporary residents of the United States, they face an uncertain future here, while war continues to rage in their homeland. Mike O'Sullivan, VOA News, Santa Monica, California.
Amsterdam's Rijksmuseum has brought together 28 of Dutch master Johannes Vermeer's luminous masterpieces from around the world in the largest ever exhibition of the 17th century's artist's works.
It can safely be called a once-in-a-lifetime exhibition. Never have so many Johannes Vermeer paintings been brought together in one place. In all, 28 of his 37 works will be on display in the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam. 3 pieces from the Frick collection in New York have been sent to the Netherlands specially.
The American Museum was going to be renovated, and that was the opportunity to exhibit these 3 paintings outside New York.
Among the highlights are stunning masterpieces already in the Rijksmuseum, such as The Milkmaid. The girl with the pearl earring has come from a museum in The Hague. Vermeer's use of light, often coming from a window situated on the left of the canvas, as well as the bold colors and meticulous composition, can be seen throughout the exhibition.
In this painting, we see the anxiety or anticipation in the eyes of the woman who gets the letter. We see it's a crucial moment. What news will the letter bring? Vermeer knows how to capture this like no one else.
Little is known about the 17th century Dutch artist. He left no diaries or letters, and there are no known portraits of him. This exhibition runs from this Friday, the 10th of February, to the 4th of June. It took 8 years to prepare.
With that Amsterdam story, we have come to the end of our international news. We go now for an ad break, but before that, we take a look at our weather.
Pay your TV license quickly and easily with MTN Momo. Simply dial *007 *3 hash and select option 8 for TV license. Enter your national ID number as your reference and the amount you wish to pay. Then enter your PIN to confirm your payment. Once your payment has been made, you'll receive a confirmation SMS of your payment. If you're a first-time payer, you get another SMS for your TV license. So legalize your entertainment from the comfort of your home. Pay your TV license the easy and convenient way with MTN Momo.
Everywhere you go, MTN.
Right, welcome back. You're still watching Kusile Breakfast Show. Sakuvusela nawo losanza kuzivulela bezivutile ukuqaleni nasingena ehleleni ukuthi sisita besikhulumisana nalaba suka eMandini Boreholes inkampani lensha-ke lena lesungulwe eminyakeni lophelile ngenyanga yeNkhwekhweti. eMandini Boreholes is situated in Mandini, and it is a company that provides affordable borehole drilling services, and their main mission is to improve access to water and help improve water coverage for their customers. In studio we have their sales and marketing manager Ayanda Ndlangamandla losichazela kabanti nje ngawumsebenzi labawendako wonke ukuthi ingabe sebavakashele sivile singanani sebasethe abantu labanganani kuba sita kubaletsela eMandila hlobilena laphephile. Good morning, welcome, thank you so much. Kusinikela nje sithombeselo siyanibona ni advertiser ama services enu, especially on Facebook. Bamfu bayabuta lokunengi ngecompany yenu. Kuma kusinikela sithombe nje ukuthi eMandini Boreholes wenda in, what is your main objective?
Ngiyabonga kakhulu Lulu. So eMandini Boreholes senza into letiningi kakhulu. We also cover up ema roofings apart from the boreholing, but our services mostly like drilling. Should see install a pump, We do reaming, debit, then clearing of the noun. Then we also charge for EMA traveling fees. Of course, we also charge for EMA traveling fees. But our prices are much cheaper as compared to other borehole sites. So mostly center logo, my services at logo. But before we go to drill for you, we first survey the place. Go to some survey and see in your place. Then after that, the truck will go there and drill for you. Most of the time, depending of ukuthi indzawo yakho emanti akhashane kangakanani, because letinye tindzawo njengasemahlanzeni emanti akhashane kakhulu, so it takes time ukuthi sikhone sheshe kwatfola.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your company has been up and running for at least less than a year, and you've been advertising on Facebook, as I've just mentioned. So what has been the response like, from people nje yini labafuna kwati nje services in?
Okay, firstly, the response go Facebook yethu ibe quite impressive. Ibe inhle kakhulu. Njenga yonke ke inkampani ukuthi kuba nema ups and downs, as in life generally umuntu you have hiccups along the way, which makes you strong and helps you grow as a company. So nathi lana lokuningi laba bakubude kakhulu lokho ukuthi sitholakala kuphi, which is at Estelle House Manzini, office number 8. So baye bakubute logo and ask our fees as well, which we normally recommend ukuthi bas-DMele or send their contact details and emails so that we send them a quotation of how we charge, because how we charge is based on where you are located. So sikhona ukuthi sikucharge kanjalo, because we have to know where you're located first, so that we are able to charge you. Yes.
Right. So I know ukuthi vele yi process, I think you mentioned ukuthi nienda bo pumping phinde ni gobele migodi ni install. I think umfangatibuta nje someone who's considering ukuthi athathe ma services enu. Just take us through my advantages, of kuba ne borehole nje.
One of the very most important, like advantages, because no driller a borehole, you get to enjoy your water for the rest of your life. You get to be stress-free about water. And just like a once-off payment, and you're enjoying water for the rest of your life. And you are guaranteed you'll get the best water, like clean water, unpurified and all that. The natural water gift from Mother Nature, advantages they are very key when it comes to borehole drilling.
Okay, and also I think you'd want to share with us some
the
disadvantages, because I think akona things about contamination of lamandi
and all that. Yeah, yes, as you stated, ngalenza by contamination in mandi, whereby velesi siwa safety in a way, or try to sterilize the water in a way. And another thing is that it is expensive. Clients buy it's expensive, yet we always guarantee ourselves because we are the cheapest. It is expensive to draw water, but quality is better than quantity. So that's the better part about it. The expensiveness, you don't get to because it's a lifetime thing.
Okay. So as a new company, I will assume Team Mhlambi, you have faced challenges here and there, and also successes. Challenges as a company last year, challenges, and also share with us your successes.
Okay, starting with the challenges. We've experienced the point whereby my clients is what really in time. I think that was the deal breaker. We had no truck of our own. We had to lend a truck, like we have to rent it. My clients. And in renting the truck, we have to pay for it. And we can't pay for the truck if my clients are flow in and be able to cater out for the company's expenses, like renting the truck, paying for the office, and all those expenses. And to change that, we tried to this year. We were able to buy our own truck, and work has been effective. Smoothly. So that's an advantage this time around, so that my clients naga flock in as they were flocking in January. We made quite good sale. Nyalonga January, yet we're expecting like a downfall in sales. Looking at good, it's back to school. People are from the festive, so it's a bit imali. But it was quite impressive, the breakthrough we had in January. And the number of clients that we managed to drill for in January as well, it was quite impressive too.
Okay, so I suppose Lama successes is you guys buying your truck.
Yes, your truck, and be able to cover up more clients. We're able to push them up below January.
So my clients and kuba bamfula bakuphi nje amakhaya I presume
even companies as well, for instance Inyati Construction. So we've got big companies as well, and epilepsy as well. So we also we're not picky on the customers. I wouldn't say this is the specific target of customers we have, because even companies at large usually drill for them. Even people they also go for our services.
Okay, so nemimango nje mhlambe nangahlangana nommango nabo niyabendela
yes, even communities, true. Even the communities, because we have one at Gamula, which is a community that wants us to drill for them at Borehole. Yes.
All right. So ngifuna ukubuda lapha and ukuthi before you dig ngiyacabanga ukuthi mhlambe kuba khona le investigation lenindako soil investigation ukuthi vele mhlambe lo mhlaba lo uyavuma yini vele ukuthi sichubeke sisikupele umgodi lo. Do you do those, and how long does it take?
It doesn't take long. It can be like for 1 to 2 hours maybe, because we go to that place, survey. We have to do a surveying, so that it's to spot out, as I've highlighted. I think I highlighted it. Your surveyor and check and swathola clients say idea okay and since I'm situated here in the Lubombo region specifically in my place, and we studied the rock as well. That's really okay or something, because what we do but nababona the first shoot up we go deeper to the rock, the source of the rock, exactly. So it's normally 50 meters. We charge for 50 meters. Then nasas kubeka depend on because like it has to be about 80 meters deeper, 90 meters. We are going down, so that we are able to reach the source of water. Is a shake shares to bend. Yeah, so it's quite
a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Does it take for you guys to complete the whole process?
The whole process. In places like Ngolweni, it takes like it's 4 to 6 hours. 4 to 6 hours. So let's say it's at 6 a.m. If our team starts at 6 a.m., so we are guaranteed to go to around 10ish will be done. If you've paid for the full price, you can install it and do everything. Because what we do is that we drill for you for the first 50 meters, which we charge in the company, and then charge for the surveying fee. Now, it's too big or deeper, there are charges. We charge for that, and we charge for the installation of the pump as well. So that's what we do. But the charges are much cheap.
Okay, ngifuna ukubuta nje ngimsebenzeni nje le recent leniyendile, mhlambe nawungabekisa ngama communities lenivakashele. I think umentionile ukuthi eGamula niyile ngimaphe nje mhlambe ama projects la recent lesenwendile nje.
Okay, eGamula we had to go to Gamula. Sisengayi. Recently besikupela babethwala who's at Bunya. And then usakupela nabo babemqhubokazi nabebengcube laba seNgolweni, which are 2 clients beswatfule eNgolweni saba complete. And yesterday we overnight actually besepunya sizama ukuthi siceselele babethwala besemkupele, and it went well.
So imvula does not disturb you in any way?
It does disturb us. Imvula disturbs us a lot, because nalina nje we can't go there. And nangabe inzawo yakho i-truck yethu, because it's quite big, nangabe sizame sicele ukuthi please clear up sibe kutokhona ukuthi i-truck ikhona ukungena because we can't park it outside. Funeke ukuthi ibe la ngekhathi ejardini so that itokugubhela. So we try to speak to the customers as communicate nabo ukuthi sicela ukuthi nisibosilungisela nasisida. Sidokhona ukuthi singene kahle. And umgwaco ke nangabe kulina nje kanje vele esho ukuthi asijwayeli thina. Nangabe lina nje lina continuously. Nangabe kushelela ngakakho vele siyayisicolisa ukuthi the company won't manage ukuthi sifike lapho but nalibalele it's okay.
It's okay, right. Kusedeni mhlambe tincingo lesentitfolile noma ke tikhalo nje from customers enu lesenasitile basi bakhala ngalokwa nalokwa konke nje kusahamba kahle kwamanje.
No, kusahamba kahle. Tikhalo betiyaye tibe khona they were drilled by another borehole before. Then bese bakhanza ukuthi sebakhala ngakuthi ipump yabo ayisa operate kahle. Then that's where we'll come in and try to assist on their pumps because siyasita in a case whereby we have to install for you a pump only. Maybe what do you so you just want us to install for you a pump. That we do. We provide that kind of service as well.
Okay. For someone who's considering to get your services, you know, I think what is so unique about you indlela ehlukile ngani emandini boreholes mhlambe lesingayibeka eceleni nje nasibukela amanye ama companies. Buta nje ngama equipment and machinery endingisebenzisako indlela special ngani le unique nganibeka nje lapha outstanding. Yeah.
Okay, firstly I'll say it's our customer service. We've got exceptional customer service. The office team always strive go to get our clients the best service. And considering that we've got a new truck now, so everything runs mostly in ASAP, we attend to that particular person. Angabe solo adregega more especially let's say for instance we go into Bunya, to make an example, we're going to Bunya, so we've drilled for this client's low battery earlier. Then there's someone else who wants to get drilled for. We're able to cater that client. So we are able to attend to that client ASAP. Then proceed to another place. What we do as well, we try in a certain destination, we accommodate everyone locally. Maybe we've got 5 clients along the streamline of that place. We try to make an example. We try to everyone is happy, they've got their water.
Okay, so I saw on your website Kukutsini Tabeni Sema Kanini Bukano Festival this year. Tell us more about that. You know, because we go back on products and services that you guys provide. So, Nini, what can people expect from you guys, from your store?
They should expect to get equipped more about boreholes, obviously, because we'll be there with our gazebos and banners and all that to try and market ourselves as well as a Singapanele Figago. We have to gain that customer loyalty, although we have more customers already, but we still want more, because as a company you never get enough, you still want more. So we'll be there trying to showcase what we do Nazi. As a Mantini borehole, we will try to accommodate everyone because we want like everyone as our kind of industry has no age limit. We try to welcome everyone, be it a company, be it an individual, we can accommodate them all.
Okay, so I understand that villains is about but who's planning and who's my office in other regions because I will say we'll take them move for Jemflambe and big solo loga loma hash lot of services in but what full and quotation labakashan.
We email it to them. If that person doesn't have an email and they've got a WhatsApp, we try to send the quotation via WhatsApp. So those are the means we try doing. If that person doesn't have an email, we just send it to their WhatsApp or explain to them over the phone. When they ask for the quotations, we ask for their locations, we punch it on our system, then we give them the quotations they need.
Okay, that's so what we do. Offices in other regions.
Yes. No, we plan to expanding our offices, obviously, in Babane and other outskirts.
Okay, so lastly, how can people reach you guys on social media and
Our offices are based in Manzini, Estelle House, office number 8. And they can reach us via our email, which is mantiniboreholes@gmail.com. Our contact details at 79635367. Our number is 78 13 37 910. That's our telephone number.
Okay, keep up on charges.
No,
they charge my minimum fees.
No.
I think
charges people can just text me on my WhatsApp, or you can visit our offices. Then we can brief them on the charges.
Okay, good. Yes. Payment agreements.
Yes, there are payment agreements. Okay. When you come to us and we get to explain to you, you can pay in installment form, because other clients really we came across, this is a huge amount of money. I won't be able to manage to pay this amount. So we then come to an agreement to sign a party, you'll pay in this installment form. Now will be covered up.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. And go see Emandini Boreholes is a new company that was founded last year. Ngenyanga yenkwekwetinga May 2021. Lasolo bayaqhubeka ke bayacela sive ukuthi sibacontacte abantu abaniketa lama services lawa bayatfolakala kaManzini Estelle House. Ungabachumana nabo phinze futhi on Facebook page labo lithi Emandini Boreholes. Let's take a break. Siyabuya siyaqhubeka nehlelo.
Watch local TV on the go with the Eswatini TV app for only 20 emalangeni per month. Do the most with Eswatini TV app. Download from Google Play Store or App Store.
We're good together. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Welcome back. Salim Zuzule, Siphohlongo, Teacher Nsimbi, Siphohlongo. Thanks so much for staying with us. We are in the month of love and we are only 5 days away. Eswatini TV. Naye wingenele indzaba yeti Tanzania, the month of love. When a competition gela run now, go bambisene nayo big game parks. Tapokona Eswatini TV and big game parks are giving away a one-night romantic getaway in one of Lema Big Game Parks establishments. Wekuthumelele Eswatini TV your love story ukuthi nahlangana kanjani nemuntu wakho. This could be a married couple or an engaged couple. You send your love story kule nombolo ye WhatsApp lethi 7621 4888. Usichazele nje ukuthi nahlangana kanjani nemfu wakho niTanzania kanganani senine isikhathi lesinganani niTanzania kumbe ungaba one of the winners who could be taken away on this getaway. And also just to remind you ukuthi we also have a show lesidlalago during the month of love. Ledlala njalo ngabo lesonvo ngelsonvo at 6 p.m. on Eswatini TV, which is called Love is More Than a 4-letter word. Nalana njiknema couples lamanengi labaxoxa njengama love stories abo, so it is quite interesting. Kukhona nathi lokunengi lesikwendako during the month of love, Sifiso.
Yeah, I think what's important njengokuthi bantu bangabe bayishayela le nombolo lungelele. It's very specific like tseneni kusendwa a WhatsApp voice note. I think the assumption is the majority of the population uses WhatsApp. Sicela ke ukuthi ke emaswati ende njalo njengabe sekayishayela le nombolo. You send your voice note to WhatsApp and tell us your life story. Well. Or you can also text. Yes, you can also text. You send us your love story and you could be the one that gets to win this romantic getaway in one of them big game parks establishment. So sinfisela inhlanhla ke nisajoyina yona lona competition lena sithembe ukuthi lo tawina ngiloyo lo deserve. So bantu abaqale ke nyalo basendela oma voice note.
Yeah, also just kukumbuta nje ukuthi it's only engaged and married couples. Mangabe ngisese boyfriend na girlfriend, unfortunately you cannot participate on the competition.
Yeah.
It's only for married couples and engaged couples. Yeah.
What's the number again? I think
the number is 7621 4888. 7621 488. Yeah, so you can either text, WhatsApp, or send a voice note on. Tell us more about your love story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also I think it'd be proper. Mhlambe nongasendela leso sithombe sitobona ukuthi sikhuluma nabani. That would be great.
Yeah, sithembela ukuthi ke le nombolo bakhonile kuyinotha bantu emakhaya ngoba bese ibhaliwe nalapha kumabona kude. Our producers made sure but nje ngithembela ukuthi batawuphinze bayibhale ngoba kulula ukukhohlwa inombolo lungelele, especially 8 digits ngoba phela sasikhona rewind 97621 4888 Eswatini TV WhatsApp number.
Yes, Kunjala, and also please don't forget to watch the new show, Love is More Than a 4-Letter Word, and also you can also watch it on YouTube in Gena Sunday, 6 p.m. in Tambama.
Yeah. I think sesifike emaphethelweni elihlelo lungelele sibatawubuya nakusasa elihlelweni Maswati Lamahle ngoba vele it is their favorite breakfast show sibe sesivalelisa lona liviki lethu lesibili lenyanga ya February.
Yeah, kukumbuda nje ukuthi i-COVID-19 solikhona, so go and vaccinate. Yep. Go and get your booster shots. So look, we are vaccinated. You can visit any clinic or any hospital. Don't follow your booster shots. Yeah, so we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
Live lakho lisibane enyaweni tami likukhanya endleleni yami.
Kasisuyengeka ke sitshitshele ukuthi asiqhubeke sende imikhuba ebumnyama nakabuya Jesu Kristu uyawusikhanza silungile. Kodwa lokuphinziselela lokukhuluma ngako la kuphinziselela ukuthi ngifuna ukuthi babone